What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be finishing up this pallet wall. I'm going to start by cutting the boards to length on this end here. We're going to do a random pattern with the pallet wall, and then we're going to work our way up as we go. So let's get to it. Alright, I just want to show you guys how to use a stud finder, just to make it a little easier if you've got a wall that's already finished that you're putting the pallet board over. So I got a really cheap one here. I'm not sure how much I paid for this guy at Lowe's, but this one, whenever you put it on the wall and you run across the wall, and whenever you come across the stud, it'll light up and it'll beep, and the stud's right behind it, and you can mark the wall. So you find a spot on the wall. There's the stud right there. So you can even mark the outside of it, starting there. And there, so my stud's going to be right here. So when you got ready to do your wall, you know to plan out your boards so that they would either fall at the end of this where you can nail it, so you'd have each board end in here, or you could at least know to nail, if your board flips across this section, to put a nail there. That way it would hold it and you would be nailing right into the sheetrock. Alright, so what I've done, I've cut boards on right on this side of the fireplace, the same width on each side, and I've also cut the same length on each side, and I've also matched them up by width. So basically I got them in a pile evenly. I'll start with the board on top, and the same width board is over here. That's how I'm going to do it. I think it'll make things go a little bit faster. And I'm going to be using a quad stitch 18 gauge nail gun. This is a smart point. It's got a smaller point. It's easier to get in tight places, and it doesn't require any oil. It's pretty easy maintenance. So basically all you got to do, get your end where you want it. I'll put mine all the way to the end of the wall, and start nailing. Then just work your way up. I'm putting the uncut end, then it's kind of weathered on that end. So I did trim these, so that way I give it more of a little rustic look. Alright, so I got my pieces trimmed out around the fireplace. I've got them cut to where they'll sit halfway in between these studs here. That's what you want to do when you're working on your wall. And line this up right here, match with my other boards. Just going to nail it in. Doing this, you want to be careful. If you get your hand behind the board, you can shoot a brad nail right through into your hand, or any kind of nail for that matter. So always be careful and try not to put your hand behind the board like I just did. Alright, now we're just going to measure for the other boards on either side. We're going to start working our way up. I'm gonna get a little bit closer and show you guys this. So here's the board I just notched out for the to go around the fireplace. I kept working my way up, but you'll notice I use the same width board all the way across. So the board that I notched out for the fireplace on that end is the same width as this end, and the same for this board and this board and this board, all the way across. And the reason I do that is because later on, if you don't use the same width board, you'll have kind of like a puzzle you're trying to put together, and it'll get really hard. So to make it really easy on you, just use the same width board. Find some boards that are the same. Pallet wood can be different and vary, but try to find the same width boards. Take your time and measure, and line up your rows and plan ahead, and it'll make your life a lot easier while you're installing these boards. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit closer of the how I did the light socket. So what I did, and you can see gaps here, this is where I put my more crooked boards because my TV's going to cover it up anyway. But you can see the stud there, that's what this light socket's connected to. So after you move it, or if, for whatever reason, wherever your light socket's at, you ain't really have to move it, but wherever your light socket is, try to run your board past and just cut a notch out of your board. Don't try to make your board end right on the light socket if you can help it. Try to plan ahead for that. And the reason being is it gives the board a little more dexterity when you nail it there. Because if you make your on either side, you know, if you make your board end here, then this board here is not going to have anything to nail to. So it's going to be either, if you had sheetrock, it's going to be nailed to the sheetrock. If you have that, which isn't going to be strong, or you're not going to have a stud to nail to, you know, if it's just a bare wall. Either way, it won't be going to a stud, so it won't be as strong. So just keep that in mind whenever you're going around light sockets. So I'm finished my pallet wall. Everything's complete on it. Got my TV hanging up. Got the fireplace in. Got all the boards done to the ceiling. So everything's done. In total, I think my total expense on building this wall, I just want to put this at the end of the video. I got the pallet boards for free from a local pallet company. It didn't cost me anything. The wood might have been, you know, $50, $100. Fireplace, 600, 700 somewhere. And I had to look at the figures, but it's about let's say $700. So in total, probably less than $1,000 to build, you know, frame a new wall out, install a heater, and then the TV. That doesn't include the TV, of course, but so that's a pretty good deal, pretty cheap. And then I was going to show you stuff about the fireplace since I have it hooked up. You know, just follow the instructions as far as framing out around it and installing this part. I had a professional install the gas lines, but the cool thing about this fireplace is it has the remote that turns the fire on and off, and it also has a thermostat that you can set at a certain temperature, and the remote is actually the thermostat, and set it in your room and it'll come on and off when the time is needed to keep your house warm. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll be making some more videos soon. I'm going to try to get some new equipment, make some better content.